Hello, welcome to another installment of the Verisys video series. My name is Rob Snowart, and today I'm going to cover email and texting alarms and how to set that up with Verisys. So first thing I'm going to refer to is, or have you refer to, is the Verisys System Guide. And on bottom of page 21 is alarm notifications. Here is what I'll be referencing as I set up this video, and it has a lot of the descriptions on the various parameters that you will be setting. And it also covers how to use Google as an SMTP host. And I will be using Google as an SMTP host. So what that means is we've set up a JCI Verisys at Gmail account and just a straight Gmail account. And we're using it to send it's called an SMTP relay, to take messages that are being sent out of the device and relay them to other devices. So it could be your phone or another email service. So let me log in and show you how to do this. So I happen to be logging into our demo site in Louisville, Kentucky. I can access it remotely. I don't necessarily have to access this remotely or be able to have that ability in order to send out alarms or emails. What I do have to have is I have to have the Ethernet set up. In other words, it has to be setting on the backbone of the customer, and it has to be able to send messages out. Can't be blocked sending messages out. So the Ethernet settings are on, and it's already been configured. I've went ahead and I've turned off the DNS because I want to use a special server, the 8.8.8 DNS server, as well as the 8.8.4.4 server, happen to be Google's DNS server. What a DNS server is, it's called a domain name server. So anytime that you're sending or asking um, or sending something out and your router does not know what it is, out the gateway, it will send the traffic to a domain name server. And then the domain name server figures out where it needs to go. So since I'm only sending out of this device, this email and alarms, I know specifically they all need to go to Gmail or go to the Google service. So I'm just turning this off and I'm saying, hey, go to Google. That's where I'm going to be sending this. So it's kind of a little way to speed up your data. In fact, it is a little bit faster than if you went through what your DNS server would be for generally for your router. So I'm going directly to Google this way. It's just a quick little trick that I wanted to show you, in addition to wanting to talk to you and let you know you have to have your Ethernet or the ability for the Ethernet to be connected so it won't go out via Wi-Fi. Once you have this connected and it's working, we can go to the alarm notification section. There you will turn it on and you can refer to the user's guide. User's guide, the next question is TLS encryption. So do you want to encrypt your data or not? If you do, then table 6 is what you would use to set up your data. If not, then here are your settings. So if you don't want to use it, you can go down here. Mainly the big difference is the port. If you encrypt, you use a different port than if you don't encrypt. So that's the main difference between the two. So I'm going to jump back and start filling this in. So I'll encrypt. And then, because I've done this a few times, it's smtp.gmail.com. And again, you can get that from the document. My port number is 465. And again, it's cached. Now, what email? So yeah, every email that you send out has to have a sender. So I'm just going to use my JCI Verisys at gmail.com as my sender. My site name. So what do you want to call this? Call this my demo site. And username. So this would be the JCI Verisys. So you have to know, for the Gmail account, you have to know the username and password for it. That keeps you from using somebody else's Gmail. Once you're done, you can save that, and then you can test it. So I'm just going to test it by sending a test email to my JCI Verisys at gmail.com account. Okay, that was successful for me. The very first time that, and you can see I have it here, so you can see the demo site, test email. You see the parameters or put what I put in. The very first time you do this, you'll get this message that it will be a review block sign-in attempt. So what it means is that it's a device that it's recognizing that, hey, someone else or some other device, not a computer, is using this to send email through it. So you have to say, hey, I want to allow that to happen. In this case, I have it on. I'm going to actually turn it off. So that way I can show you what happens when it's off. So it was successful last time I pressed send. I haven't closed the window. I'm going to press it again. I'll get the error sending the test email. And I hope Google sends me a notice that says that I have been blocked. This is like 50-50 shot on whether or not you get one or don't get one. I've got them before and I haven't got them before. Usually the very first time it goes, it works, but I've been playing with this and turning it off and on, and I've noticed that sometimes I don't get notified anymore. So I'm going to turn it back on and then show you that all that I did was turn it back on. I'll send my email, and the test email sent, and it let me know that access for less secure apps has been turned back on, and there's my test email still again. So all is good. So anyway, once you have this all set up, so I've got it set up, I've got it working, I'm testing, I'm going to hit save. Then you can go to your administration section and enable alarm notifications for whatever priority of alarm that you would like, service being the lowest priority. In other words, you're going to get everything if you click service. Service priority means you'll get everything that all our devices are set up to say, okay, if you'll get everything but the service alarms, and the service priority alarms means if your system is about to break, not necessarily it's critical that hey, you're down, but you're about to go down, then we usually issue a service priority. So about to go down would mean, A, we turned on your cooling, but we've recognized that your supply air temp isn't dropping. So that to us is a service priority. Critical meaning you went down, this is critical, something needs to be addressed now. Service priority means it can be addressed later. Service means, hey, we're just notifying you of things that we're seeing. They aren't necessarily critical, but we're notifying you that it's there. So anyway, those are the three different levels. And you can put in 2 email addresses. One of those email addresses could be your phone. So also inside the user's guide at the very bottom, while I'm passing it, we do have the ability to use SendGrid. Much like Google, SendGrid is another place where you can sign up and use it as a service as well. So we have information on SendGrid. Okay, if you'd like to send alarms as a text, the major phone carriers in the United States also allow for emails to be sent directly to a phone via text. So if you have, for instance, AT&T, it's your 10-digit phone number at text.att.net. That will get you to send out texts or emails to your text on your phone. So that's a way to use texting or use this for texting. So you could put one of those addresses here, or you could, put what a standard email here. So we have the ability for each user to put two email addresses. And if you notice, as I was coming in, we got quite a few users. So if you have multiple users on the system, each user then can select, what alarm notification level they want, and what email or text do they want. So, and then they also have the ability to turn it off if they want to, or switch it at a later date. Anyway, this concludes the video on how to do the alarm notification section. Thank you very much.